A second shot rang out, and a bit of dirt punched up from the ground less than 6 inches from her face. Someone was shooting at her. Hailey scrabbled backward, seeking more coverage, which wasn't easy on the narrow hiking trail. Avoiding the steep drop where her water bottle had disappeared, she did her best to find a hiding spot behind a grouping of large trees. Her breathing hitched in her chest as she strained to listen above the hammering of her heart. No way to tell where the gunfire had come from. She eased deeper into the foliage, being careful not to rustle any leaves or step on any twigs. Months of hiding in the wilderness served her well. She knew how to blend in. For several long moments, there was nothing but silence. Still, she didn't move. Patience was her friend, and she'd stay out here until darkness had fallen if necessary. Yet it didn't make any sense that someone wanted to hurt her, not after all this time. Maybe 13 years ago, after she and the rest of the foster kids had escaped the preacher's cabin. But not now. Not after the cabin of horrors had been burned to the ground. The preacher and his wife, Ruth, had died that day. And while she felt certain his demise hadn't been intentional, she couldn't find much sympathy for the man who'd made her life, and those of the other foster kids in his care, a living terror. Footsteps pounded on the trail. She froze, not even daring to breathe. Peering between the leaves, she watched the open spot of the trail, expecting to see someone with a gun searching for her. Although, if he was trying to hide, the pounding footsteps were a dead giveaway. When a tall, broad-shouldered man emerged in her line of sight, she was surprised to see he was indeed carrying a gun. A handgun, not a rifle. And he was dressed in the tan and green uniform of the DNR Park Rangers, complete with a wide-brimmed hat shadowing his face. The shooter? She didn't think so. Not that she trusted a man wearing a uniform, because she didn't, but that distrust didn't make the ranger a bad guy. She was fairly certain the gunfire had come from a rifle, not a handgun. The ranger stopped directly in her line of vision and spoke into his radio. "The trail is clear. No sign of the shooter or the woman that was hit." It took her a minute to realize the ranger thought she'd been injured by the gunfire. He must have had eyes on her when she dropped to the ground at the same time the shot rang out. It was tempting to come out of the trees, but years of experience hiding from the law had her hanging back. The ranger crouched down, staring intently at the exact spot on the trail where she'd gone down. Her heart began to pound as she realized he would easily be able to follow the tracks she'd left behind, marring the dirt in her haste to seek cover. Taking control of her own destiny, Hailey abruptly stood and emerged from her hiding spot. The ranger shot up to his feet, leveling his gun at her for a fraction of a second before lowering it again. "Are you hit?" He raked his keen gaze over her, his deep, husky voice catching her off guard. "No." She didn't dare take her eyes off him. "Do you have any idea which direction the shots came from?" "The northeast." He returned her stare with one of his own, then reached for his collar. "I found her. She's not hurt. Repeat, female hiker is not injured." 10-4, the voice on the radio squawked in reply. The name tag over his left breast pocket indicated his last name was Wilson. No clue what his first name was. He was about her age, maybe a little older. It was hard to tell because his face was weathered by the sun, much the way hers was. "Any idea why someone might be shooting at you?" Ranger Wilson asked. "No." She glanced around the area, realizing that walking back down the trail to where her trailer house was located would be heading straight toward the shooter if Wilson was right about the direction the shots had come from. Well, okay then. No reason not to keep hiking the trail for a while.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.